You talked about visionary leaders, but you've heard a lot of people express
frustration,
lack of confidence or frustration in the candidates that, again, our primaries have thrown up, and they were wishing that it could be better. But unfortunately, we have gone through what we can call a meaningful process to come up with these 73 presidential candidates. Where does this leave us?
First and foremost, we are a country where people, want to stand aside, watch the process, and just hope that it will change.
By itself.
By itself. In some cases, pray that it will change. Today's Sunday. We all go.
Yes, we all go. And offer our
and by the way, Sister should have gone for another
election that has come and gone, and
another election
next one again in 4 years' time.
And in some cases, a man is it's said to have stolen a mandate. He goes home, he thanks God, for the opportunity to have even occupied that office, and then people would follow him, and then would wish.
A man rigs an election.
He
does a thanksgiving and says, "God that giveth power."
Power.
So,
to whom he will.
He will, yes. So, and then the rest of us, we stand aside, we fold our hands, we say, oh, we wish a Rollins could come here. Oh, where are the Ghanese of this world? We forget that we are the Ghanese of our time. We are the Rollins of our time. If Rollins had folded his hands in Ghana to wait for, somebody to come, they probably wouldn't have been citing Rollins. Or if Ghani had folded his hand to wait for, somebody to come from somewhere to do it, we wouldn't have been citing Ghani. And so we look at our process. Elections also afford us the opportunity. You see, Ayo, let me tell you, you have friends who would say, oh, Ayo, you're so good at what you do. Oh, you're fantastic. The day you decide to stand for elective posts, that's the day they will tell you, don't bother, you won't win. But they forget that it is their vote that you need to win. We say, oh, you don't have structures. They forget also that it is the people that makes up the structures. What was PDP in 1999, but it's our term that made them the behemoth that they later became. Same thing with APC in 2015. So first and foremost, we have to see ourselves as people, as part of the process, as people who truly, if we truly want to change, if we desire, a new process, we have to kickstart it. If you're waiting for those leaders to fall from the sky, the political leaders understand the psychic. And so it's like we're all waiting to occupy those positions and then take a bite of what's there. We see Nigeria as a structure that is about to collapse.
In project management, like they say, there is the concept of progressive elaboration. A lot more people want to see more refined candidates. They want to see better people they can have more confidence in. If we want to see those set of candidates in the next 4 years, when does that journey begin?
Begins now. I was saying that Nigeria is like, we see Nigeria as a country that is about to collapse, so everybody wants to grab what they can grab now before it collapses. We don't see ourselves as critical stakeholders in the project Nigeria. Until we begin to see ourselves as critical stakeholders, that's when in the earlier segment, I talked about interrogating the issues, the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policies that should form the bedrock of the party manifestos. How much involved are we as a people? And so we are so fixated with this, oh yes, it's either APC or PDP, and then you tell yourself, well, these are the best options that we have, even though they are not good enough. But you forget that you don't have to be a party member to reach out to people about a candidate if you can interrogate, the issues around the candidate. You also do not need to be a beneficiary directly, by virtue of portfolios. Because now we think that once you work for a candidate, you must also get, compensated with political appointment. It shouldn't be so. If I believe that Charles, for example, would, deliver as a governor, why shouldn't I reach out to people for and on behalf of Charles? Instead of waiting, and then after the elections, I owe it a duty to consistently remind him of the campaign promises and the deliverables. But no, what also you find here is the fact that the moment, because he's my candidate, whether he's right or wrong, I must support him. And so all of these are part of the issues. That's why you find out that rather than, discussions, elaborate and intellectual discussions, taking over our public discourse, what you hear is sentiment, whose party is he supporting or whose party is not supporting. And at the end of the day, we discuss all of these issues until the next elections.
Sorry, you made a point here which I want to pick on. We've been talking about voting individuals and not parties, but apparently we still fall into the same cycle again. It's not about the individuals. Sometimes it's about, as a matter of fact, most of the time it's about the political party, and that's why we have just two parties most of the time being more visible than the rest. How do we break out of this?
And Mr. Ejiti, you have 2.5 minutes to make that point.
Yeah, okay, I'll make this point this way. The notion that we vote individuals are not parties is a default notion. It's because our parties are proven to be essentially the same kind of parties, same kind of platforms, just operating or functioning like SPVs for the purpose of accessing political power for those who want to use political power and wield power. So if indeed there were ideological differences, there were differences in outlook, in perspectives, in programs and policies and all that, then people will not be talking about we want to vote for individuals and not parties. Meaning that if you are on a party's platform, people will be rest assured that you will think alike, you think like your other persons on that same platform. And so they'll be confident to vote for that platform, even when, they do not know you much, satisfied that once you have personal integrity, they can vote for you on that platform. But let me just say this. In closing, the electoral system in Nigeria currently is older than our democratic system. And people don't know this. The electoral system started during the military era. It was that electoral system that brought the civil dispensation about.
And that's it. I guess that's our cue out on the show today. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your thoughts on the program. You've been with us in the last 8 hours since we began this. Thank you very much, Mr. Ejiti Ogunye and Mr. Libros Oshoma, learned gentlemen there. Yesterday, Nigerians went to the polls. Today, it's about collation. And if you want to get a blow-by-blow account and you want to be up to date with the figures as they come in, stay with Channels Television. You can watch us via your mobile phones or any of the digital devices. Log on to channelstv.com live and you can follow us as we go. I'm Kayode Alayade and Charles Zeruka, Ayotune Balogun. Thank you very much. We're glad that you watched. Bye now.